Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, we began our day in court. And things are pretty rocky, well, with witness testimony making things seem pretty clear that Magnus McGilton is the guilty party here. And then, we had to convince the jurors to change their minds after they all voted guilty for him. And now the witnesses are back on the stand to try and give their testimony. They've done that, and now we're going to cross-examine them. I only carried for 4 passengers that night. I swear it. Hold it! So there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, but you didn't charge them the standard 4p fare. Is that right? Yeah, he also got in trouble for this before. It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I was so cold. All I could do to stop myself from passing out. I'm getting chibble. That's a word. I'm gonna have to look that up later. Me in the future editing this, put up the definition on screen now. It's terrible. So I want to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the bus running. Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger? You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. I mean, I'm with them, honestly. If only there had been a 5th passenger on the omnibus that night, then we would have had another suspect. Well, I, for one, was told I had to pay 5p for the bus. Oh, no, go back. No, go back on that. Hold it! Does that mean everyone on board that night paid 5p instead of 4? Well, I paid 5p too, sir. I just told you that I did. A flat fare, 5p will cost aboard. It's not something to be proud of. The so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the phantom killer you so desperately needed, it's gone, dead and buried. I'd have been happy if it had ever existed in the first place. He fiddled us on the fare, he did, and then I saw the blood curdling sight as well. It's all too much. This blood curdling sight. You mean the murder, I presume? Yes, sir. A loathsome sight. And no one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken. I've already forgotten the voice I had for him. Oh, well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the gent was stabbed. Oh, really now? Good gracious, really? We have another witness who did, however. The banker has already testified to it. But Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. It may turn out to be very significant, probably. Which makes me wonder what he did see. I heard the banker gent next to me take a sharp intake of breath, I see. That's when I looked through the glass. That's when I saw the horrible blade poking out from his belly, all covered in blood. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming. Even when I'm eating. I tell you, I saw McGillen stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGilden, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him. That's what I said, isn't it? It was bothering me before, this was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question. Anyway, there's only the 2 of them inside the carriage, wasn't there? There's been much talk of a fifth passenger. There's as yet zero evidence. Then what are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white. The man's guilty. Something about Mr. Fairplay's testimony just jars with me. I wish I could work out what it was. Oh, yes. Yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes. Dang it, I meant to press that. Not long ago, this trial very nearly came to an end. Somehow we managed to keep our chances alive here. I can't waste this cross-examination. I have to use it to bring some new facts to light. If you're not careful when you press these witnesses, the danger is that the jury will end up believing something unhelpful, as they did before. Maybe, but we can't let the fear of that habit stop us from uncovering important new information. Yes, you're so right. I need to pay I need to speak carefully for one thing, and also need to pay careful attention too. I don't want to miss even a flicker of a reaction among these witnesses, so... remember, if you happen to spot one of the witnesses reacting in a strange way, don't hesitate to pursue them as to the reason. Yeah, because we kind of had that before in the first trial, during the first trial in Japan. And given what Naruhodo was saying about I pressed the wrong button again. Dang it. But yeah, he was making note of the way Bruce Fairplay was the way he kind of hesitated in a certain way. Dang it! Oh, for Christ's sake. I pressed the A button to get to the end of the dialogue, and then it went and then ended it. Okay, stop mashing buttons. There we go. Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you? Oh, yes, that's right. You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip. I suppose I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe. What's this? Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck. Oh, I expect that was me, sir. Then I turned around. Yes, I saw her through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor. The knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes. And the fellow holding a handle was the famous man, yes. So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all? I really thought that I did, but when I go over to get in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing down. Oh, hello. Hold on. Oh, the game hesitated there. Hey, you got something to say? Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. You didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh? Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? No. We'll bet on that. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on the top of an omnibus, that is. Peeping? I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. No, I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as a battle rat today. I don't know what the battle rat is. The grim scene. I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me, I was getting a lot hot on the collar there, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Oh, I can do that all right. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that butcher stabbed them at hands? His hands weren't soaked, but he was wearing gloves. So...
Objection!
That seems wrong. Blood-soaked hands? Well, I admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick, but... But anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar. What? Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question. Oh yes, right. And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. Why? Wait, why are you nibbling on? Why are you nibbling on that like a little chipmunk? In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent. Gah! But no, that can't be right. So you're the liar here, then? Gah! That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said it was both hands. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Objection!
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it was both hands. There was only one, but the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically said that he saw blood all over both hands, which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Oh yeah, drag him. Why? Well, it's a debanker, for God's pity's sake. My word should be the gold standards. I don't give a damn what you do for work. But gentlemen, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate? I'm gonna guess that's like a synonym for lie. Future me, confirm. He's claiming to have no reason to lie. Is that really the case? Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide in this trial completely. Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to be using. I have evidence. My lord? Yes, counsel? The defense is ready to present evidence. By Jove, are you sure? Yes. Evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony. Excuse me. Coughing all of a sudden. Very well. I hereby call the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court. Yeah, so we looked at the ledger last time and saw his name in there. Take it. This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded. Yes, a list of innocent victims, crippled by the accused's distortion. The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay. Oh, what? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused? No, well, it's barely worthy of being called a debt. According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say? Well, what of it? I suppose Mr. McGildy would be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case? These documents state that a loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist. Cease to exist? Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw, in a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant? Well, did you? Is that what you did? Go. Well, you fibbing to the court? Order, order, order! Mr. Bruce Fairplay. Yes, my lord. Let me ask you again, and be aware that your answer may have most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim? Well, your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony. Alright, now let's not make a melodrama of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch. That's putting it lightly. A pinch? But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood in McGilden's hands. Both of them.
Objection.
And yeah, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained. So you keep saying... I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir? Go ahead, Mr. First. Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself as it happens. Seeing what? The blood, sir. On the assailant's hands. I think... Yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one. What? What? Okay, well how does that make sense? It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. Hold on. Sip my water. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear? Stop nibbling on your cane, dude. Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last. Yes. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. Yeah, hopefully. When the witnesses really saw, yes, this will definitely be truthful, sure. There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself, no. Not until I heard that scream. Anyway, the fact remains that there can't have been anyone else inside that carriage or we would have all seen. What are we to make of this? Well, lo and behold. In truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it. No, it really isn't. That's really not what testimony is about. Let's examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's accounts. In other words, there's no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case. Very well, your cross-examination, please, counsel. Yes, my lord. So, I'm trying to think of what even my strategy here should be. I guess just press everybody. I can't see any obvious contradictions. There's blood on both hands of the assailant. He remembers that. Alright. No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record. I'm well aware of that, sir. But nevertheless, I know what I saw, and I stand by it. The man had blood on both of his hands. He's defiant, even in the face of hard evidence. He's steadfastly refusing to admit that he might be mistaken about what he saw. But why? Your reasoning is dire. One hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged. Minutes after the grave crime, the victim's blood dripped guiltily from the accused's fingers. Yeah, so he didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters. I guess it kind of does. Don't try to downplay this. Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime is a matter of fundamental importance, as well you know. But, for crying out loud, we all know that no one else could possibly have done it. I was just trying to save us all some time. What, by committing perjury? You have a loan of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, do you not? Had you hoped to release yourself from that financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty? That's not entirely not what I was hoping for. I just lost a little guinea or 10 when I backed the wrong horse in the Derby, that's all. I was going to win it all back. The fixture this weekend, that's a sure thing. A little guinea or 10? I'm a banker. No one bats an eye if I borrow a little spending money for the weekend. It's not your money, though. It's literally not your money. That's everybody else's money. Oh, you're getting fired for sure. God, Beppo's gonna get fired. You're gonna get fired. I think first over there is like the only guy who's probably not gonna be fired. I think you may have revealed rather more about your character than you bargained for, sir. This witness's scruples are not on trial here. Proceed to the next witness. Is that really how it's supposed to work? I remember, yeah, you remember seeing the knife and both the attacker's hands on blood on them. You definitely saw that too? Blood on both hands? Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Mr. McGillicuddy's gloves has any sign of blood on it. That's right. The thing is, as far as I remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGillicuddy sitting beside the other fellow, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir. He wasn't wearing these gloves? That's correct, sir. And I saw the blood on both his bare hands quite clearly. That's a little more specific. It's true that the dark colored stain on the dark color of the gloves wouldn't have been easy to see. I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported that there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGillicuddy's gloved hands. Interesting. There wasn't blood on his hands? This is puzzling indeed. This must be significant somehow. I'm sure of it. I didn't actually see anything myself. And you heard the scream. You didn't see anything? Oh yes, sir. That is to say, no, sir. I didn't. Very sorry about what I said before, sir. Very sorry, yes. It was very wrong of me to make up stories to say I saw him stab the man. Wouldn't you agree, sir? I know what you're insinuating, but I certainly wasn't making up stories. Still, the saying you saw nothing isn't right either, is it? No, sir. I saw nothing at all. Mr. Beppo, you were driving your horses. At the very least, you must have enjoyed a good view of London streets, no? And that's it. And that's the end of that, then. Oh, please! You didn't even see that. It was cold that night. You see, it was all I could do to keep passing out, sir. Yes, my head was very frozen solid. Sorry to say, sir. It would seem prudent to avoid travel on the last omnibus service of London's cold winter nights. Beppo! Ah! Again, he is so fired. And with the fire remains, could blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know. And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus? That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over. Oh yes, I remember I was shivering. You were so bitter. Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place. Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh? Why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. It was locked? That's right! It's a public bus, so for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play, but that's what they call you, though. Badumtish. Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below. Well, I can assure you I wasn't just looking down, I was glaring long and hard. That's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say. I'm not so sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? We have to pick this one, because the other one does not help us. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You're riding this omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight and the floor of the upper deck. Is that right? That's right, yes. In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. What? By golly, really? Would it? Let me look. Okay, so if you look at here. Yeah. Yeah, I wish you could rotate it more. Okay, because like it shows this seat. Yeah, let's go. Hold on. I want to go. Yeah, let me go back in. I want to double check this. Yeah, because you can see this seat from up there. Oh, you know, you can't see this seat, can you? That could be it then. Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponi's friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here, the flesh. Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You identify the area on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated? Right over here.
Take that!
Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means the visible part of the cabin which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight is as I've drawn here. Yeah, that's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one on which the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it. Well, now, a possibility has been established. It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponis have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with Hold on, sip of water. Let me try that line again. You Nipponis have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity. Now, I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious pastor to whom you allude. I doubt it. At least at this stage. Can you, Mr. Naruhodo? I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof deck? I have no idea. Ugh, I have literally no idea. But as a proud citizen of the Japanese Empire, you will look to the sky and walk on, making sure all signs of tears are gone. Go on. This isn't just a case of going on, Mr. Zato. Alright then, I'll go on. The defense would like to put forward a name. Okay, I guess we are gonna do that then. You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learnt. Let's not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the pastor in the other seat. This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from view was... there were only two people in the cabin. I guess it could have been Magnus McGilded. I'll try him.
Take that!
Oh, I guess that's the right answer then. The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded. Mr. McGilded? What are you talking about, counsel? That's the name of the defendant.
Objection!
That doesn't seem like a good idea. If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zeet, do you know how much it might cost to replace that, should you actually break it? People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own, but I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. What are you trying to say? Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong. What? If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way. What inconsistency, counsel? The defendant's gloves, my lord. What's the inconsistency with the gloves? I don't know. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Oh, no, I see what he's driving at. Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection!
The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance, which probably means what they're saying about that, they might not be full of crap on this. Yes, their testimony remains unchanged. Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party? Obviously, the true culprit. Extraordinary! Of course, who is it? I have no idea. Order! 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 What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
The defense's postulation is just that, nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Yes. The tops of their hats were obscured by the roof. I could see the rest of them, though. Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to know such things, sir. And what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First? I'm afraid I don't remember. And you call yourself a hatter? The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin. How can you be sure? Because if there had been, the accused Mr. McGilded would undoubtedly have offered to depose the fact. That's true. Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed to even notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled? He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilda would have been unaware of it. There is clearly a simple solution to this problem. Bring the accused Mr. McGilded to the stand? Well, what say you, counsel? The prosecution objects, my lord. On what grounds? As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police. But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely? Magnus McGilda is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out that the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act. Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion? My lord? Should we ask Mr. McGill to testify or not? I think we should, actually. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. You don't need to raise your hand. It's not like you have to go to the bathroom. The defense would like to call Mr. McGill to the stand. In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Yes, I need a little time to consider this. If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGill has to say. Get the man out here, I say. It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony. When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild. Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say? Oh yes, that would be lovely. Yes, the jury says the man must be heard. Very well, the court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once. One wonders what he will say. Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. The proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day? To be sure I have, my lord. Oh, that's not even the same voice, whatever. There are now two matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin, as proposed by the defense. The second as such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police? Begad, no! 'Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all. Just answer the questions, please. The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. But tell you all, or keep my mouth shut. Tell us what, Mr. McGilded. The fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger. It's true? Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened. You... What? Okay then. Well, that's definitely something. Oh. He is silently seething, I imagine. No, Magnus McGilded, that convenient excuse can't save you now. I'm truly sorry, Sir Damn, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you. Which was? Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not in any way involved, you see. What? If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have held her into this here courtroom, just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord. And who was this young child of whom you speak? That I don't know. You don't know? Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection!
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness's statements to be disregarded by the court. You know, I wouldn't be surprised that the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, and listening to the proceedings. What? Oh, shit. Smoke! Fire, there's a fire! Look, someone's trying to get away! After them, it's no use! I can't see through all this smoke! What is going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo, cover your face! Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Some secure the omnibus. Hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant's in custody and clear the courtroom. Oh shit. That just happened. We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff, amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. Oh. And I think that right there is a good place to end on for today's episode. So, in the next part, we're going to continue the trial and hopefully see what in the hell was all up with that smoke. See you guys then. Take care, everybody.